Hey everyone. Yeah, I put a notification on Instagram, so hopefully if anyone's clicked on the Instagram post, you'll come to this and realize it exists. I think in England right now it should be midday time, so Japan it's the evening. I'm in Tokyo right now, and I want to actually discuss the new documentary series that I'm about to kind of release and start creating. So for anyone who doesn't know the story behind this, about a year and a half ago, I decided that, oh, LL says, hey, I'm actually going to, on my other phone, pull up the chat in a minute so I can keep on touch of things. But the story of what I'm doing right now is, let me know if you can hear me. Oh, it's Hench Herbivore. How's it going, Paul? So about a year and a half ago, I decided that the vegan movement and the vegan community in the English-speaking world and in just the general in England where I was so exciting and full of so much. Oh, hi from India. How's it going? How's the vegan movement in India? 'Cause that's something I really want to travel to India at some point. But I realised that there was so much excitement, so much productive, creative content happening. It kind of it made me, on one side, really happy and excited, and on the other side, it made me really curious about the rest of the world. So I did some research, I watched some videos and had a look, and I thought, where are the parts of the world where it's, ooh, that's cool. The parts, I'm going to read that in a sec. Parts of the world where, I should read that, it was exciting, Japanese. But parts of the world where veganism can be seen as or is like very difficult, and I thought I want to go to those places and I want to see if it is actually true that it's difficult to be vegan in these areas, and also if it is, then actually do my best to help the people who want to be vegan and help people who in themselves are vegan but haven't realized it yet, help them make that connection and figure things out. So my quest along this journey, love your videos. My quest along this journey led me to essentially Asia, I guess, just in general, and in particular Japan, because I had like a personal association initially through music, like piano music, actually some Japanese pianists that I was familiar with, and then after that Japanese tea and some movies and things like that. Oh, I've been saying I can go to Japan in a month, but was worried about eating vegan. Oh, it's so easy. I've actually just finished a video. I'm going to read the comments in a sec. I've just finished a video that is vegan options in Japanese supermarkets. So it's done. I'm actually going to release it on my Patreon page for people who are on there early, and then I'll probably put it on YouTube on Monday, I think. But it's going to probably be up in an hour or two when I finish this. But that's exciting. And then I'm going to do a convenience store one. And also like general recipes you can make as a vegan, just like when you're home cooking, and then eating out options and things. So I'm going to kind of make like a mini comprehensive series, but that's not the thing I'm talking about today, because I'm actually going to make a sort of semi-feature length, mini kind of broken up into parts documentary series. I've worked on the trailer intro bit for it, and I've kind of got a lot of scripts and notes and research, and it's just a case of putting things together, getting clips and filming some things, and I'm just kind of working on that. But I actually wanted some input before I talk to people in the comments and talk, hey, how are you? I don't know if you're talking to someone else or me, but for me, I'm really great. I'm very happy. I have pineapple juice as well, actually, pineapple juice and rooibos tea to give us some calm, but calm and some energy. But yeah, I've got like a lot of plans to show people the rise of veganism in Japan, because, and not just Japan, I think Asia in general, and I think to awaken people to this idea of global veganism rather than just like local veganism, because it's easy to celebrate veganism in like an area, like say like London, where it's, or even Norwich for Hench, where it's amazing, but then it's like, think about, there's other parts of the world. That doesn't mean we have to travel to the other parts of the world, but we should kind of be at least mindful of that and think, how can we, comments, I'll read them in a sec, hey Chelsea. But yeah, so I think I want to kind of inspire people to think about that, and I think if you're traveling, it's nice to kind of create travel content. And when I first went to Japan about maybe sort of 9 months ago, I I had a lot of dilemmas because I didn't really know what to eat. It was similar to when I first went vegan. It was like rediscovering life again. It was like I now have to figure out how I can build a base of normal and stable. Because obviously when you go from not being vegan, oh, you're planning on moving there, Eva Brandt. Yeah, it would be very helpful. I want to help everyone who's like, because there's a lot of like English teachers who are here who are vegan now, like from abroad, and then there's like a lot of Japanese people who are now becoming vegan, which is exciting. And tomorrow, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to make a bit of a video out of it. There's a big, semi-big vegan festival in Tokyo, which is an area called Shinjuku. So anyone who knows about Tokyo, Shinjuku, they have a little vegan festival, and I'm going to go along there, see some people, have some yummy food. And Tokyo Vegan Meetup's going to be there, so I'm going to chat with those guys. Maybe I'll do an interview or two, and that'll be available sometime, somewhere, and it'll be quite exciting. So I want to actually get some feedback from people to see the kind of things that people would like me to include in the documentary series, because it's still, I have a very loose overview of everything, and I've got a lot of ideas, and editing is a very slow, long process, but I think that the first episode will actually be up by the end of next week, and it will probably be a 15-20 minute mini kind of documentary, episode 1, where it's actually just going to be sharing kind of my story and journey into this and why this is important to me, and then kind of how that is kind of beneficial to the world. Because anyone who doesn't really understand the bigger picture of things could think like, oh, you ran away from doing activism in England to just kind of like mess around and learn Japanese. But really, I see this as part of like a bigger plan where if people can actually have that kind of level of, I have filmmaking skills, so that's my mindset is I have filmmaking skills, I have, I guess, the ability to sort of express myself, which is something I really enjoy, and be creative. So I wanted to kind of put that creativity in the sort of like skills that I have, and share that obviously with like a new audience, because anyone who knows how the YouTube game works, or social media, or even just kind of vegan activism in general, knows that if you just talk about veganism on itself, people, you have a very narrow audience. But if you bring veganism with another topic, so for example, you have veganism and bodybuilding or fitness, which is what Paul does. So he has nutrition and personal training. People who are interested in nutrition in general will come to the vegan through that. And it kind of reels people in. People will come to that through the other secondary interests. So like vegan gains, he was the guy who brought the gains thing, and then all the muscle bodybuilding people did that. Then I guess there's the cycling people who do that side of fitness. And then there's people who are like from other kind of like walks of life, just sort of doing different things. I guess the travel vloggers, you know, like people who are just interested in travel vlogs. Like a lot of like popular bloggers have gone vegan and then it's been a thing. And so for me, I thought the thing that I really love to integrate into kind of my channel would be more content that's more kind of global and inclusive. I could, you know, to just kind of, oh, Vegan Uprise, hey, yo, how's it going? More inclusive, just to people around the world, and I think people are interested in Japan at the moment, I think more than ever, because there's the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, and there's like a big boom of tourism happening and a big boom of all of that and this kind of excitement, and then there's the kind of cultural richness of the anime and what's the stuff people like about Japan, the tea, the samurai, I guess the kind of just like history stuff and all that. I think people are really into Japan, and I think if you watch any of the kind of vegan Japan travel YouTube channels, there's a lot of people who just really love it. They've never been to Japan. They've never, yeah, nutrition guidance. That is definitely what I'm going to do. It's a good idea for social media site highlighting vegan athletes. So like, yeah, I wanted to bring that together for me, and. So basically, after I just want to get everyone's input on, is there any particular things that you think you'd like me to kind of discuss? So for example, I'm definitely going to discuss the oceans and the impact that the fishing and the kind of large fish consumption in Asia in general has on like the world and the kind of ecosystem, and mochi. Yeah, I had mochi about an hour ago, which was really nice. It was really special kind of gifty thing. I guess they call it omiyage. Omiyage is like souvenir, that's it. So I had like a souvenir thing from an area called Okayama, which was a really nice little present I got. So there's a lot of, people think veganism is hard in Japan. I think from the eating outsider point of view, it can be quite difficult, but not necessarily. Ocean dead zones, yeah. It can be quite difficult, but not necessarily. And if you cook for yourself, I think it's just the same as everywhere else, if not actually healthier, and it gives me more... I think being in Japan has actually deepened my cooking skills in a lot of ways, because I think in England I was spoilt with so many ingredients, and now like rediscovering ingredients. Yeah, like the kind of like every new thing I discover, I can like really think about like how can I integrate this into my meals and what can this do. Like there's this thing that's called konnyaku. Konnyaku is made from the konjac potato, which is this kind of like gloopy, sticky, slimy, kind of solid blocky thing. And initially, before you cook it, it smells very strong and horrible. Maybe like the animal industry behind Japan. Yeah, I'm going to discuss that because they obviously do have slaughterhouses in Japan. Slaughterhouses and, you know, the kind of general thing you'd expect. And then factory farms. I will probably go to like a factory farm slaughterhouse at some point, which will be exciting. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen, but maybe not too soon, but it will definitely happen at some point. What about natto? I love natto. Natto is really yummy. I eat chia and flax every day. Can you recommend any other powder or seeds on a daily basis? Oh, you just want general nutrition advice. I mean, if you want like general, just to kind of branch off, general nutrition advice, I'd say, I mean, I thought it was like really hard to be healthy in Japan because of like, there's a lot of kind of refined things like white rice and white noodles a lot. And I guess, but then there's just loads of vegetables and fruits and things. But for life, if you want general nutrition advice, eat a nice variety of fruits and vegetables. You know, like berries and bananas and apples and oranges and anything that you can kind of get your hands on. Smoothies are really good. Oh, I'm seeing another thing. So once you do that, and then I think integrating lots of like whole grains, like for example, like whole wheat pastas and things like that, as well as oats, quinoa, if you can get quinoa. I had quinoa for dinner actually, which was really nice. Quinoa, bulgur wheat, which is just kind of from whole wheat again. What are the other grains? Amaranth. There's quite a few of them, like grains, and then I think I'm just going to kind of reel off Dr. Gregor's thing. Hypnotizing him into being vegan. Oh yeah, should I just do some hypnotism? Vegan ni natte kudasai. I've heard that most Japanese have no idea where their food comes from. They don't believe bacon comes from a pig and favour animal-based ingredients. Yeah, yeah, so for general things, I think flax seeds and chia seeds are good if you can get them. It's hard to find them here actually, but you definitely do not need any fancy special powders to be healthy. See, this is it, don't get those fancy healthy special powders because they don't really do much for anything. I don't have them here, I just have very simple whole foods. I think if you can get some tahini in you, that's like a great thing, if you can. I get that, it's really yummy. And yeah, and then like a nice mix of beans to be healthy, like lentils and chickpeas and kidney beans and tofu, if you can get that. It's extremely cheap here. It's like about 30 yen, which is maybe 20 pence in English money, which is really nice. And so get some beans, and then I think drink lots of water, maybe some tea if you like tea. I have tea. This is rooibos tea. For the question that was, do you like natto? Yeah, I do. I eat it every day. It's really healthy. It's difficult though because a lot of them have a fish sauce with katsubushi, the fish thing, katsuo. So get the one that doesn't have any sauce added, if you're ever there. But oh yeah, wait, I have more advice. Basically, just go on nutritionfacts.org and Dr. Gregor has a daily dozen checklist. But yeah, just like a nice variety of things, like some grains and beans and some vegetables, and then just kind of mix it up and see what makes you happy. But just have like a nice variety, and don't. I think if you eat the same thing all the time, it's probably not good for your body. It's nice to mix it up. I'm now going to go on this and start reading comments, but yeah, I just wanted a bit of general advice in terms of if anyone has any really majorly amazing creative ideas, because I wanted to kind of bring people's attention to the vegan Japan that exists, that has not really been documented enough. Because when I first came here, I had the impression that there wasn't much veganism going on in Japan, but that was just because people weren't necessarily filming it or making it really noisy and loud and doing protests. JIA says, "Hey man, is vegan. He's a pop artist. Maybe he's also." Everyone's getting involved in the comments. I've never tried natto, but I want to try it. I will watch for the fish. Yeah, natto's. If you look at the nutrition side of it, it's extremely good. Hang on. How do I find my videos? This is for me. I'm on. It's extremely healthy. It's got so much good stuff in it. And oh wait, that's my videos for this other channel. Where's the vegan activist? Here he is. My name's Michael, for anyone who doesn't know. But so this. Oh no, adverts. Let's turn this off. I'm going to start reading comments now, but yeah, try natto. The smoked tofu question was good. Not really. It's never not really smoked. It's more like so. It's called. Is it aburage or atsuage? I don't know if that's a different thing or not, but they have a fried tofu thing. I have some in the fridge actually right now. But generally it's had with like ginger and soy sauce, I think, or with some kind of nice broth, or maybe like wasabi, which is kind of like a radish, green radish. You probably had wasabi paste at some point, which is really yummy. I want to read this. Ah, 私はこのせいにしたありませんが、私は No, I can't read that bit. Hedge says that. This is great. I've been considering going to Japan in a month, but I was worried about eating Japan. Yeah, it's really easy, I'd say. I think you just have to have a mindset of like keep learning and being not being too perfectionist, because you'll probably make some mistakes. But I think it's very humbling for us to realize that we're going to make mistakes in life, and we can kind of overcome those mistakes. So yeah, don't get too caught up on. I mean, here's some stories. I mean, in Japan when I first came, I ate quite a few things that weren't vegan by accident. Just kind of not realizing and really trying my best. And in fact, when I went to Korea, South Korea, for 2 weeks, I went to a vegetarian restaurant, thinking that everything would sort of be vegan in general. And I tried to explain to them that I was konbanwa. I tried to explain to everyone that, like in the restaurant, that I was vegan, and they didn't get any of it. I spoke almost zero Korean at the time, and still do. Wait, what can I say in Korean? I can just kind of do all the pointless stuff that doesn't really get you anywhere. I can ask for, I don't need a bag. That's what you need for life. Iranai desu. I don't need a bag. Daijoubu desu. So yeah, and then they gave me this big set with all this beautiful stuff, and it was like £3 for all this food. But there was an egg, like this little thing with an egg, like there's all these different sets, and they all look really beautiful, but then this egg, and I was like, is this an egg, or is it some kind of weird vegetable thing? Turned out it was an egg, so I just felt really sad for the rest of the day, and there wasn't much else I could do. I couldn't even explain to them that I didn't want it, because lack of Korean. So that's the thing. I think if you're going to live in a place, put some time into the language study. Like, for example, one of the most useful things for like when you're in Japan is just to ask, like, does this contain milk or does this contain fish? For anyone who knows Japanese or wants to learn, it's like, you could say, like, in this, これには牛乳が入ってますか? 入ってますか? Does it contain that? Or like sakana, which is the word for fish. So like learning kind of things like that. You can get these phrases on the internet as well. Get some of that and actually just try your best. Or like obviously communicate in English if you want, but asking those questions gets you into good places. I've been considering going to Japan. I was worried, but don't worry. I've made my first YouTube video. I don't know what I'm doing, but oh well. I want to watch your video, Chelsea. I recommend just kind of like going for it, and then you'll like learn from your mistakes. But if there's anything specific that I can help with while we're here, just ask and I'll answer. Because I know how to do videos now. That's a thing that I'm really like thinking about how like in life we have like a very small percentage of things that we can like get good at. And it's really just important that we choose a good thing and just really go for it rather than just like everything and trying to be bad at everything rather than just like being very good at like one thing. So for me, like initially when I was young, I got very good at piano and I spent all my time and I mastered that as such in terms of like the hours I put in. And then afterwards it was like filmmaking with the YouTube thing and I guess vegan activism. Now it's become Japanese where I'm spending like 10 hours a day doing things, which is fun. This is my little break where I do English related stuff. This is my procrastination. Or is it the other way around? Nah, it's good to have that, but this is really helpful since I'm vegan and planning to move there. So yeah, if you move there, I think it's just a case of have a good day. You have a good day too. I'm having a really good day. Mastery on one subject, skill with 100 subjects. That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's nice to have like a few skills, like having like a wide span of like you capable, rather than being like completely useless in a few things. But be capable, I think, in life, like build that, and then kind of just hone in on something, and then like people are really inspired, I think, through mastery. I think people love someone who's just like dedicates themselves to something. So I thought, like the Japanese thing's a really beautiful version of that, and then music is, and just art and creativity in general. That's why I'm making an amazing video about, well, it's going to be a little documentary series. I'm going to just explore the oceans, I'm going to explore nutrition, I'm going to explore the vegan movement and community and activism in Japan. I'm going to talk about how you can be vegan in Japan, because no one knows how to do that. Well, they do, it's easy. Just eat vegan food. So there's lots of vegetables and beans and tofu and noodles, and you figure it out. And also there's vegan restaurants in the main cities. It's just a case of if you're, like, say, an English teacher and you go to an obscure area where there isn't anything, you just have to cook for yourself more or just eat at 7-Eleven and get rice and tofu. I've done that a lot. What happens when I do this? Oodles of noodles. So many oodles of noodles. I've been getting a lot of buckwheat noodles actually, Paul. The soba noodles. They're quite yummy. I think I try and avoid the completely white flour ones like udon and all of those kinds of ones that are just white flour, but if you can get kind of like high buckwheat ones. Angel said, "Oh, Angel, how's it going? Oh, it's good that I've caught you. Obviously, I'm in the middle of Tokyo just doing life now. That's happening. And how are you doing? Have I seen your last video? Did you do a new video? I think you did, but I haven't. I think I might have started watching it and I was like, I want to watch that properly. Anyone who doesn't know, subscribe to Angel, because she's doing what I've dreamed about doing for ages, which is like really like passionately putting all her energy into. So Angel speaks. So you're from Hong Kong, aren't you? Cantonese, and your videos are. I'm good. Yeah, that's good. So it's just becoming like catch up with friends, but hope you're well too. Yeah, I'm feeling really healthy. I've got tea and pineapple juice smoothie, so that's really good. But subscribe to Angel and Seitan because she's doing basically Chinese vegan activism and amazing like content, which is really like just kind of like what people need and what the world needs, and she's just going for it. And then your Instagram and other pro platforms, I guess, are just like really full of really on it information, and like you're kind of translating things and making it very nice. And it's also like completely bilingual, so it's good for people who don't speak Chinese to kind of follow along. That's the danger of what I'm doing now, because if I just go full on Japanese mode, everyone just becomes like annoyed, and then vice versa, I guess. If I'm talking about Japan and then there's no Japanese or subtitles, then people it's just everyone talking about how it's great to do activism rather than actually doing it. Sup, vegan guy? My name is Michael, and your name is Logan Blake. How's it going, Logan? Or is it Blake? Blake Logan or Logan Blake? Doesn't really matter, does it? I'm Michael Goodchild, but some people here call me, what do they call me? Mike Gedder. Some nutrition advice, hell yeah. That is a good idea for my social media site, highlighting vegan athletes to spread the word. Yeah, vegan athletes are good. I mean, there's lots of cool fitness people in Japan, actually. That's starting to happen. Does anyone know Naomi something or other just won first in like Asian history to win like tennis. I didn't watch it, but I heard. So that's pretty cool. I hate that it's considered a novelty. Yeah, I think tourists are silly because they end up eating weird, like, crazy fish ingredients because they want to feel cultured. What's cultured? Sorry, everyone. What's cultured about just like consuming dead animals because you're abroad? It's like silly. I'm not really angry about it. I see it as like it's just like a beautiful opportunity to just be the best version of yourself because no one's there to like. When you're traveling, you can be whoever you want to be because no one knows who you are. So like, because obviously when you're at home, you've got your parents and you've got maybe your partners or your friends, and they're all like, "Oh, be this way because we want you to be like us and fit in," which is all quite silly. But then you've got to get into that and go through that trap of life, and then pull yourself out at some point when you realise it's toxic, and that's just like a nice part of life, isn't it? But when you travel, you just can be anything. So why not be the best version of yourself? And I think if traveling pulls out that kind of ugly side of you that's just selfish and just wants this buzz of entertainment to kind of show onto Instagram, I think that's not what traveling's about for me. Traveling's about rediscovering who we really are, finding that beautiful place inside of us, and then just being able to express ourselves completely freely without any restriction. Yeah, put that in a quote, whatever I just said. But yeah, it's true, isn't it? Maybe like the animal industry in Japan in general. Yeah, what's that like? I don't know that much, really. I mean, I kind of do. The advertising's creepy, but then it's similar creepy to England or America. If anyone's ever actually, if you just Google Japanese adverts, some of them are really sexist and creepy. Like a lot of them are based on this idea of, I'll be exploring this in my documentary, and the other thing, completely freely. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Paul. Completely freely. Is that what freely says? I guess it would be, wouldn't it? She's freed herself. You said it. Yeah. Wait. Well, let me just backtrack myself. What am I talking about? Animal industry. Yeah. So the advertising, a lot of it's based on like, hey, want to be a manly man and rescue weak, vulnerable girls? Drink milk, and then you can rescue those puny girls who can't look after themselves. Because which, like Japan, in quite a few ways, is still quite sexist. That tea sip. Oh yeah. I thought you were saying metaphorically in terms of something I said that was like sassy maybe, but this tea sip. Probably it all connects. But I think what I'm trying to say is for anyone who's just like interested, Google some, and there'll probably be English subtitles. Google some adverts that are from Japan, because what happens is with advertising, if you watch it in a language you don't understand, you can see the creepiness of how the animal industry works in a deeper level than when you actually just understand everything and that all the programming is already kind of ingrained in you. Because when you watch a McDonald's advert, I'm loving it as a part of your mind, and it just becomes familiar. So for me, I listen to Japanese all day, so when I hear Japanese, it just feels at home. But then if someone speaks Chinese, it's like, what's this noise? Even though they sound fairly similar to someone who doesn't know. Nah, they don't, but same with like English or French. That's not true either, but if you think about it, it's being able to kind of notice that is interesting, and I think just breaking it down is fascinating. Do you know what I found recently, which is really cool? I might do it live. Wait, can I do this live? I'm going to do that live. There's an app where maybe I need to plan it a bit more. Maybe if everyone can stay to the end and show lots of love and support, maybe press that like button, whatever that does. If everyone presses that like button, I might go on this app where you can like basically like lonely Japanese people just kind of like chat to themselves and then people join. Wait, let me read that a sec. So there's that where just like lonely Japanese people just kind of chat to themselves, and it's really cool because I listen to it for study reasons, of course. Not that I'm just like a lonely guy who just wants friends. Yeah, like, and I've been going on there a little bit and just chatted to them about veganism. Yeah, Peaceful Cuisine's great. That guy's really helpful. Message was retracted. Well, we'll never know what that message was because I wasn't paying attention. It might have just been a spelling error and you wanted to correct that, but let me just get some... Sorry everyone, I'm going to get into that. This is all very cozy. I guess, let me... Oh, here we go. So this is a weird angle, but it's quite fun. So what I'm trying to say is not really that relevant, but let me just continue with some peaceful words. I feel like I was building up to something that didn't really have any meaning. It was probably more to do with how an app, you can promote veganism on there if you just type... What I sometimes do is I say, like, hello, as you do, and then you... if anyone who knows a language, do this, because it's fun. I go, I'm an English person. You can just look at that, and then they're like, oh, wow, English person, and they go, oh, that's what's it like in England, or whatever they say. And then I just say, oh, I'm vegan. Or they say, what do you do, or something. And I go, oh, it's not like they pinpoint on me, but you can just interact if you want. And I say, like, I'm a filmmaker or YouTuber or whatever I say. I want to do this more, but it's like, this is my dream. And then I just talked about veganism a little bit. So maybe we do that live. This is me. It's like a me of me. But, yeah. Also, HelloTalk is a really good app for that kind of thing. Just like language exchange, and then you just talk about your life, and then obviously if your life involves veganism, then you're good for the animals, aren't you? Because everyone loves that. Sorry, I'm wiggling the camera around. It's just because I haven't found a good position for this, and I'm using my phone, but... I eat cheese, seeds, and facts days. Can you recommend that? I live in the US, but I make vegan contests for people in Japan. Any advice on how to advocate from abroad? So, I mean, the obstacles you're going to get, there's a bit of plants have feelings. Do you think Japanese people are interested in veganism? That's a good question. Let me answer the other one. I live in the US, but I make vegan contests. How do I advise? So basically, there's a few obstacles in terms of... One of them will be, like, there's a plants have feelings thing that's going around. There's this idea of kind of, like, we should just respect everything, and which is similar to the plants have feelings thing. And, like, as long as we kind of bless the food, it's okay. So it's like this kind of apathy of, like, what can you do? We've got to eat something, and we've done it for a while. And, like, very strong traditional roots as well, especially the older people. But young people are getting very open-minded. I'd say generally people are starting to hear about it now because it's happening. And also people who speak English or have travelled will know about veganism through that. But for me, I've had some successes with explaining veganism to people. Sometimes it's like you have to be very gentle and not too, like, you have to change right now to people, because they're not generally ready to change straight away, because there's a lot of social pressures here, I think, compared to, say, like America, where in America you can just kind of do what you want and that happens, but I think in Japan there's so much, like, even at work, like, if you refuse to eat food that's given to you or something, you could lose your job. There's a little bit of that, I think, which is probably stronger than in America. Vietnam, considering moving to Japan, and vegan food is super common here. Is it on a day-to-day basis? Of course. One sec. I run out of tea. That means now I have to actually say stuff that's useful. I make this sound like this is something I want to do because it's fun. I like doing these. I'm going to try and do one every week. Let me go. Hello, everyone. So that was a good question. Hey, my partner jokes that your voice is hypnotizing you into be vegan. Go vegan. Now, I don't like the phrase go vegan. I mean, the thing that's cool about with Japanese, the way you'd say go vegan is, it's either like, let's become vegan, which is nice, or please become vegan, which is nice, or yeah, it is kind of that. It's more like become rather than go, which is cool. Vegan ni natte. Hey, my partner jokes you're hypnotizing. I've heard that most Japanese have no idea where their food comes from. I feel like people know it's like fish or whatever it is. I think people aren't too mindful of, like, the ingredients of things, I think, in general, like with all the processed stuff. But then that's the same as everywhere, isn't it? They don't really believe bacon comes from a pig. I mean, in Tokyo, the people I speak to know that bacon comes from a pig, so that's not... And favour animal-based ingredients. I mean, I think there's a lot of meat eating here, maybe probably more about guys as well. Girls who I think want to be healthier. Health-conscious people, I think, in general... I've got messy hair, it's great. Health conscious people, I think, are a bit more inclined to like less meat, or kind of away from the red meats, I guess. You know, the kind of the typical things you'd expect. But what's it called? Guys are pretty heavy on the meat, I'd say. And what's it called? What's the other thing? People know that meat comes from an animal, though. I don't think people are stupid. I think it's unfair to say Japan is stupid because of different cultural story, but I think people are still on it with that kind of thing. Maybe people don't think about it as much as we do, though, because there's so much vegan stuff now, vegan propaganda. But, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, like, basically the dairy industry's given up on England and America, and they've kind of moved over to Asia and set up big campaigns to kind of, like, brainwash all the children. And it's working, and we need to stop that, so that's why I'm here. I'm not joking, that's horrible. It's very scary, and if you, like, look into it, the best bread is made with butter. All the bread in Japan is not vegan, apart from like very small, like, because there's an allergen list sometimes on the bakery sections, but most bread in Japan isn't vegan, so that's the thing you should give up. But bread's not that healthy, and you can let go of it, I think, because so much noodles, and noodles is basically the same as bread, but I'd say healthier in my opinion. You definitely do not need any specially fancy powders. Do they have smoked tofu? No, but you can buy smoked paprika, and you can buy tofu, so you can make it. Do you know any good... I don't know any good vegan bands artists, really. I should know about them, but they exist. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Yeah, please be careful of your... Someone, pop artist, Moby is also amazing. I don't know who Zach Abel is. I don't know that much about anything anymore. It's a very meditative space to just listen to, like, Japanese things where you don't understand quite a lot of it all day. Like, while you're just kind of cooking and doing things, or walking. It gets you into a space where you just, like, empty your mind a little bit, and you've just got, like, less stimulation. So I don't know about anything anymore, which is good, because that gives me the chance to tap into that, like, everything that I know. I've never tried natto, but I want to try it. Everyone try natto. I ate it the other live stream. Money is awesome. Moby. No? Money? I mean, money... Let's talk about money for a minute. Money is this kind of weird thing, isn't it? Where we have to kind of, like, earn this kind of currency in order to kind of, like, earn our existence and be able to, like, survive. And we have these little pieces of paper and numbers and things. They have yakidofu and aburage. Ah, yeah. Yakidofu. Yakidofu te nani? I don't know what that is. 食べたことないんだね. It's grilled tofu and fried. Oh wait, you already answered that. Grilled tofu. Yeah, I guess that would be that, wouldn't it? Konbanwa. Have a good day. Mastering one subject. Oodles of noodles. Loads of noodles. Udon is yummy. This isn't relevant. Can I ask how you're living in Japan in terms of accommodation? Are you renting somewhere? A bit clueless about this. So my method of Japan is working holiday visa, and right now I'm in a monthly place, but I've actually figured out more permanent place from next month onwards, where I now have like an apartment with a fridge, and well, I have a fridge anyway, but this is like that place is cheaper than next place, and it's kind of like a nice location. So yeah, I'm going to be renting somewhere, but I'm joint renting with someone else, which makes it better and more fun, because I have nice company. I need to find somewhere cheap to live. Oh yeah, I mean, you go to the estate agents and that's, but if you go on Airbnb for short-term things, you can figure it out, because there's some good ones where, like, maybe for £300 for a month, I think you can get by, like, £10 a day. Completely freely. You said it, the T-sip. A lot of women in Japan are shufus. I'm not sure what that word means, but I understand what you're saying completely. Maybe that's why, but so many women are worked to now, so I don't know. Nowadays, actually, the sexism in Japan has gone down, because, like, women are empowering themselves a lot more. Women are starting to work and become financially independent, and that's really exciting, because that's, like, the first time, I think, in ever when that's been, like, a thing. Peaceful cuisine saved my life with Japanese food. Peaceful cuisine was amazing. Those videos are very peaceful, as you'd imagine. Do you think Japanese people are interested in veganism? For now, not so much. I think it's still like something that isn't as interesting as we want it to be for them, and I think that's why I want to kind of do more fun things that kind of interest people, because I think "Arigato, Mr. Roboto" is a quote from which formerly awesome cartoon which went bad. That's funny because that's like Italian or something, isn't it, as well? From which formerly awesome cartoon which went bad. I think it translates to housewife. Oh, wait, yeah, that is an actual word. I probably do know that. Let me read it again. Shuhu. No, maybe I don't know that word. It probably isn't a word I know. I'd like to figure it out in a minute. Look at me, I'm figuring out life. I think for now, I hadn't meant to retract my message. Oh, I thought you had some secret message about something I didn't want me to see. But what I'm saying is, people aren't interested enough because, I mean, from one hand, there isn't enough. I think as more popular celebrities and musicians and singers come into the world, which is just starting to happen, but probably not as much. It hasn't, because we know about it a lot. You know, like there's the Plant-Based News does the exciting films about, you know, Vegan 2018 and all these things where it's like, veganism and celebrities and all this. We know about the celebrities, but I think there's an extra layer of like, everyone likes, what's his name? Who's that musician that's like, he sang that song that was really popular? I think he was British or maybe American. Just some of those musicians, like the not boy band, like those kind of guys, or even like, trying to think. Ariana Grande, I think people know about. If you don't guess the cartoon, I'll give you a blast from my Hen Trevor is the comedy king. And I don't know, I can't. But let me just, I'll process that. I don't think I knew it anyway, though, so there's no way I can find that. But, so, there's certain musicians and things, I think Paul McCartney, he's vegan, I think, at least. He promotes Meat-Free Mondays and all that. And everyone was loving it, they were really open-minded. And the vegans here, this was just last year, like, end of last year, the vegans did like a vegan stall at a Paul McCartney concert in Tokyo, and everyone was loving it, and everyone was like, yeah, veganism, because Paul's up for it, and I think more of that is going to really help. I think more Japanese-friendly content being created, which is what I want to create, and just exciting stuff that makes veganism this fun adventure rather than like slaughterhouse footage, because there's a lot of slaughterhouse footage, and also I think more positivity surrounding that for Japanese people to see it as like, this is something that's amazing rather than like something they should be scared of. Oh, everyone's recommending good bands. How long have we been doing this? 43 minutes, okay. So yeah, I think at the moment not too interested, but I think there's a lot of potential, and that's why I'm here, because I want to be a part of that and enjoy the kind of excitement of it. I've heard of them. Currently living and teaching in Vietnam. Considering moving to Japan next year, and vegan food is super common here. I can imagine Vietnamese food being amazing. What is the Vietnamese food other than like pho? Pho and Vietnam ryori. Wow. There's lots of noodles, isn't it? Maybe, and like nice vegetables. Summer rolls, are they? The spring roll things, are they Vietnamese? I think they are, aren't they? They're really amazing. I make those a lot. Is it doable in Japan on a day-to-day basis? I mean, if you're someone who goes out a lot, like eats out a lot, I think it can be blander than it would be if you want to just eat processed, like cup noodles all day. But then who wants to eat processed cup noodles and microwave like things all day? I think if you have like a general nice attitude to life where you actually like love yourself, I'm being critical. Like if you have like a mindset where it's like all the vegan athletes that will promote plant-based, like Serena Williams and Novak Djokovic, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, what am I saying? It's very doable because there's loads of things in the I've not had no problems, so there's no complaints from me while I've been here. And I've been in Japan now more than 7 months, so that's cool. Yeah. Just like secretly living in Japan, doing all the Japanese life. But yeah, I think there's lots of things in convenience stores, there's loads of stuff. If you pack your own lunches, you're way sorted, and you like bulk make food and do it like that at home. Cooking at home is not a problem at all, there's loads of ingredients. And that's the video I've just made. I've made a video that's vegan options in Japanese supermarkets. And it's the best video in the world. I'm quite proud of it, it's quite nice. But that'll be available sometime soon. So yeah, very doable. I mean, there's quite a few restaurants now in. Did you check the German guy? I didn't check anything. I don't know who you are. I remember your channel though, Save, because you said, do you know what Save is? And I was like, I'll figure it out later, and I never did. But that's kind of how I work. Yeah, so I think, yeah, very easy. I think if you want to eat out a lot, it can be difficult, but I think if you have a good level of expressing yourself, you can work your way around every situation. I mean, if you're someone who can just, like, if you have a Japanese phone number and you can call restaurants up, it's very easy to just do that. Like, hey, can you sort me out a vegan option? That's why you need to learn some Japanese, or have a friend who knows, obviously, like a bilingual friend or something, who can just sort you out in that sense, and then teach you, rather than just you being useless. So that's what I'm trying to do now, just like be so helpful to the world that I don't need to rely on people to speak Japanese for me in Japan. So that's like, you've got to work hard and do fun things. I met Moby, the vegan artist. Moby's great, I love Moby. Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Roboto. How do they say it in the film? Formerly awesome cartoon. Oh, wait. Of course I know what that is. Of course I... sorry, that's Futurama. Let's take a moment for Futurama. I think it was. Bender says it, doesn't he? I loved Futurama as like a teenager. That was like a big part of my life. Taught me about how to be a funny guy. And I can see how you love it, Paul, because it's like definitely you. And then obviously you said the Spice Weasel reference. That makes sense. If you don't guess the cartoon, I'll give you a blast from my vegan mock Spice Weasel. I like how it was a vegan mock Spice Weasel. If you veganise that humour. I feel like that wasn't just a quote from Futurama, though. Paul, you're amazing. I love you. Housewife, take care of children, clean house. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be a housewife. And yeah, that's the situation. It's funny because I think why is it put on women to be the housewife? I think we should all just be housewives and house husbands and just house people, and just kind of enjoy our own space rather than having loads of pressure to just go out and earn money, because otherwise we'll run out of food and stuff. I'm a big fan of, like, we should all just live in a forest and have fruit and love and happiness. But I'm creating that beautiful world where we can all be free through individual simple actions that build up to something amazing. It's all just about being as free as we possibly can be, and sharing that with whoever touches us, whoever interacts with us. We can touch them with words and our actions and who we really are. It's about being the kind of person that we really are, rather than what society made us be. And just enjoying every moment of that. That's what life is to me. So what is it to you? Sorry, I'm in dramatic person mode. That's what happens when I edit videos where I'm talking silly. Let me think. Did you check the German guy? Nope. Feel free to enlighten me on the German guy though, but I'm not. I want to use the banana vending machine here. Banana vending machine? What's that? I guess there are vending machines that have bananas in, so that's probably what you're talking about. Oh, there's so many good comments. Lots of spring roll. This is Vietnamese food. and in Vietnam, I want to go to Vietnam for that reason. Lots of spring rolls and pho. But you can still eat fish, right? Since fish aren't animals. I hope that's a joke, because I can explain why that's silly, but then I have to explain that, and then it becomes a silly... I made a video about that, probably, at some point, so you can watch that, but, So we got for, like, fully vegan buffets for lunch that are, like... They're, like, $1.50, which is... Oh, yeah, so for anyone who's in Japan, that's, like... 150 yen. Yeah, for all you can eat, which is like £1 or something, isn't it? For all you can eat, there's bits of leftovers, Buddhist influence here, so a lot of 100%. Yeah, the Buddhist influence is dying here, which is a little bit sad. Maybe Tokyo especially, because I'm here. Yeah, maybe it's a joke. The thing on the comment. Do you want to know a funny story? The reason why I have two phones is because the phone that is this phone was like locked to England or whatever company thing I had. So I couldn't use it in Japan when I first arrived, and I thought, oh, I really need a phone to be able to do stuff and have friends and not get lost. So I got the cheapest one they had. Then I used it a bit, and now I came back and I have no phone. Well, no phone data, so I don't need phones. I've realised it's easy. So it's exciting about Vietnamese food. Anyone who's around Vietnam, enjoy the vegan life. Do you think even though Japanese care about recycling trash, they're consuming too much plastic for planning? This plastic question is like insanity. In my opinion, like Japan's recycling system is really beautiful. It's nice because for anyone who doesn't know, Japan has lots of layers to their recycling. So it's not like just throw everything in the bin. It's a case of like there's burnable trash, there's like cans, and then there's compost, and there's kind of like all the different kinds of trashes you think. I haven't got my head around it fully. Oh wait, this is running low. We have a power bank. Look at this. Look how professional I am. So professional. But so yeah, people are good with the recycling, and they also get really annoyed at people who come from other countries and don't respect their recycling practices. When I first arrived in Japan, yeah, I know, waste snazzy, it's a power bank. Anyone who doesn't have a power bank, I think that's like a valuable part of... I own like nothing now. I actually have like a very minimalist life. I own everything I own can fit in a very small backpack and a little laptop bag, which is just for my like laptop. Did you eat egg white protein? I don't really know what egg white protein is. I mean, I do, but I don't really know where that would be. My power bank is wireless, get me? Okay. So yeah, there's so much plastic waste though in Japan. When I first arrived, I bought some random thing in 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven's like a convenience store here, a konbini. Konbini is the name of the like 7-Eleven or Family Mart, or what's the other one? Lawson. There's Natural Lawson, which has got more natural things like vegetable crisps. And anyone who's ever not had the macrobiotic biscuits called makurobi, you should get on that. Basically, like, what am I doing with my life? Trying to talk about plastic. So I bought loads of plasticky stuff, and I was like, where's all the bins? I was trying to, like, with my limited Japan, I was like, bin wa doko desu ka? Or whatever I said, and no one knew. They were all trying to explain, like, oh, we don't have bins in Japan compared to England. Bins are kind of everywhere in London, but not in Japan. People like just put things in their pockets or their backpack, or hold them, or put them in like plastic bags and take them home. There's some bins, but it's really hard. So I was just walking around with all this plastic, and I was like, oh, I feel like the worst person in the world. And then I just kind of embraced it. Shoganai. It's kind of like one of those things where you just got to do your best. The zero waste movement isn't as big as I think in England, in my opinion. It's not as easy to do it, but you just got to kind of like find your balance with it. So yeah, way too much plastic. Everything's in plastic. What do you think about plant-based news as educational responsible? And Rebecca's no longer vegan video. Chelsea, I genuinely don't watch any YouTube other than Japanese content now. I think, in my opinion, like, vegan content isn't that interesting to me anymore. It is, I think, occasionally if I want to learn something new, but I'm just going to bump this up. It keeps moving. There we go. Yeah, I don't watch plant-based news. It's not saying people shouldn't, but I think, for me, I'm just kind of focusing on my mission now rather than seeing what everyone else is doing. So I don't really know what's going on in the vegan world, like, for kind of English people. Ding, ding, ding. What we got him... Johnny, wait. What have we got for him, Johnny? Oh, yeah. You are most kind, thank you. I'm not sure what I said, but I'll take that, thanks. I'm very kind. Full of all this kindness. So the word for kindness in Japanese is, well, kindness would be... so if you're kind, yasashi. But then kindness would be yasashisa. So I am very kind. Vegan activist is very kind. I'm just stroking my ego live on camera. I found a vegan punk band from Canada called Propaganda. I've heard of Propaganda. Yasashi. Yasashi world is, yeah. Yasashi is a really beautiful sounding word. Yasashi. Yes, yeah, I'm not going to do that, that's weird. But sometimes I do the, like, you know when you're trying to be like an over-the-top Japanese person? I've got bored of that now. You seem to embody respect and understanding that peeps in Japan need to maintain face. Yeah, I mean, I've actually slowly learned that through, like, some, like, painful, like, having to just face, like, why is Japan so insane and cares about what people think about them? But I now understand. I like it. You're doing great. Might be good to explore and promote vegan Japanese pride in veggies, like daikon longevity. PR, can you please explain what you mean by the... I mean, okay, let's just bring this down for anyone who doesn't know. Daikon is Japanese radish, like a big radish thing that's like very phallic and yummy. Japanese pride in veggies like daikon. Longevity. I'm not sure what you mean, but I like where you're going with that, maybe. And thanks for the nice kind of acknowledging that I respect people, because I try my best. But you can still eat fish, right? Since fish aren't really animals. I mean, to be honest, like the word animal is just a label, isn't it, really? It doesn't really matter what they are. I think, for me, fish are beautiful beings doing their own thing that have, like, a kind of beautiful sense of life. And if anyone's ever watched the movie Finding Nemo, I love that film. Finding Nemo was all about finding... It was about this fish, and he had, like, a dad and, like, a family, probably, and a bunch of friends, it seemed. And then this fish kind of just, like, got stolen by, like, this evil fisherman who was like, I'll take you, and whatever happened. Sorry, just meaning that, recognising. I think I know what you mean. Fish are good people. Yeah, fish are good people. They're just doing their life. So, like, the Nemo story was all about... Everyone knows the Nemo story, but I'm just trying to bring it back to everyone. He was searching for his son, the Marlin, or whatever his name was. And then it was just, like, a big story about how, like, we're just messing with these fish's lives. Like, they just have their own life, and we don't need to get involved in that. So, I can't remember what your name was. I think it was a Russian name, possibly, that I can't read. But, I'll give you a read anyway. Yeah, no, there's too many words I don't know. That might not be an actual name. It might just be you press lots of buttons. Oh, and you also asked, did you eat egg white protein? No, I just eat kind of fruits and vegetables and smoothies. I have a pineapple smoothie. Fish are sentient, so why would you eat them? Sorry, people are annoyed by me drinking or eating. This is just like my second dinner. But there we go. This has become a really beautiful hangout, everyone, so I really appreciate all the comments and stuff as well. We're really going to round this up fairly soon. So feel free, if there's any relevant comments, to just leave them, but I will upload this again, and feel free to leave in the comments any kind of deep questions about anything that people want answering, and I might respond to them at some point. Fish feel pain. They're wrapped in plastic while being still alive and fully conscious, and they suffocate slowly. Yeah. Hench herbivore's power bank is wireless. Get me? Says him. Hench herbivore, awesome to see you all around the vegan community. Yeah, I love how Paul just gets involved in everyone's like vegan journeys. Like he's just so supportive. Oh yeah, so you were saying you're most kind. Thank you. I took that as like, oh yeah, I'm way kind, and he was just saying it to someone who was actually kind. Everyone's kind here. You all have living beautiful lives. Good luck, Mario. Being vegan and zero waste isn't about being perfect. It's about trying your best. Chelsea, you brought it back to what it's all about. That's a really beautiful comment. Here we go. Kyla says, in the documentary, I think it would be helpful if you can explore and show us the different vegan food options, different meals, etc. when eating out, what variety there is in Japan. So many, yummy. So many good options, actually, because what happened is I've now been to a lot of the main, like, vegan restaurants and vegan places. Had fun, obviously spent lots of money, because eating out in general is quite expensive. So now I'm trying to live a simpler life where I don't eat out at all, really, and I just cook my own food with simple things like pineapple smoothies. And, well, actually, pineapples can be a bit expensive, but pineapple juice is cheap, and then bananas are cheap. But I will for sure explain and explore the vegan options available. Yes, I see. Is it a crucifer? Oh, daikon. Crucifer. As in cruciferous vegetable. I reckon it is, yeah, for sure. Daikon was gonna be one of those. Daikon's like great for you. I mean, it's really cheap. You get like this big chunky, like, it's like the size of hench herbivore's love. So really big, and like you just get all of it, and then you just make like a giant thing out of it. Fish are good people. Is it easy to get hot vegan dishes in Japanese restaurants? Hot vegan dishes in Japanese restaurants. I think if you communicate, it can be very easy everywhere. If you don't go to a place that has like a sense of veganism to it, it can be a bit more difficult. But I'd say if you're in any area, you can find something to eat. Because I've not had any problems. I think if you're not scared of communicate, oh, sorry everyone. If you're not scared of communicating, even in like bad like English or bad Japanese, I think people will help you. I think it's more if you're just like scared to communicate. Ooh, Miyahiko. Miyahiro. Mirai. Hey. I am. こんばんは。ああ。宮弘さんは、日本にいますかIn the documentary, I think it would be helpful. Crucifer, good people. Hot vegan, yeah, very easy. はい、日本にいますよ。ちょっと。Extra sentient, so why we eat them? Yes, I live in Japan. Ah. That's cool. Oh, are you in Tokyo? One sec. Do you know about the vegan festival tomorrow? Veggie Festa という祭りですね。Is it easy to get hot vegan dishes? I'm having a lovely time. Sorry, the daikon comment was about suggesting focusing on the awesome aspects of Japanese diet. Yeah, I see what you mean by that. I think I got that. I just didn't have... Ah, Mie Prefecture. I've not been there. 行ったことがない。Sorry, the daikon comment. Have you done any street outreach there? Are people, non-vegans, open to this form of activism? So I think there's like a different kind of wave in different areas. Angel, there's a different kind of like variation on in Osaka. I've heard that they're a bit noisy and loud, and that actually comes off as like people get offended because they're too outspoken, similar to like in England. And I've heard from some people that that isn't good in their opinion, which I kind of maybe agree with actually because of my understanding of Japanese culture. But then my understanding of Japanese culture is based on being only in Tokyo. Tokyo. Do you live in Japan? Hi.今年1月1日から、東京に、1年間、東京に住んでいます。Sorry, the daikon comment was about focusing on... yeah, I'm here, I'm doing a working holiday visa and making a film. Have we done any street outreach there? No, actually, I haven't. Maybe I've been to one event, but I've not actually done any myself because of a lack of Japanese. So, I don't know that much, but I'm going to get involved in a little bit more. I think, for me, my method of Japanese activism isn't going to be too much street activism, but I think I'm going to get involved in a bit of it and see what's going on. But there's something I've not explored fully yet, and I think because I've had like a lot of negativity from Japanese people as seeing it as like fairly pointless and not something that's really worth pursuing. But then maybe it's something that just needs to kind of like have more creativity to it rather than just... I think there's a lot of anger in, I think, some street activism in general, not just Japan, and I think that can come across as Mark, that can come across as putting people off veganism, and probably people are more sensitive here than in like America. Whereas American, you can kind of be a bit more, I say aggressive, but a bit more kind of like in your face. Not that I've been to America, but that's my impression, or even Australia, or England even. But not so much, I think, in, where would I say, probably most areas in Japan. Maybe there's certain areas that are a bit more open to it. Maybe in, what's it called, the Kyoto, Osaka area, people might be a bit better, but yeah, I haven't got much experience with it, really. Cowboy says hello. Hey, Cowboy. Meow. Nyan, nyan, nyan. It's really lovely to see someone on YouTube that doesn't shout at the camera. Do people shout at the camera? Yeah. I guess I'm just peaceful because the cultural aspect of what you might face in a Japan... Can you do an American accent? I can try and do an American accent, but it's not very good. I might try and do. Vegan is vegetarian. はい、そうですけど、ヴィーガンはベジタリアンと同じように、鶏肉、牛乳、鶏肉、魚、豚肉、牛肉など、動物由来の食べ物を食べませんが、さらに、蜂蜜、牛乳、卵、バター、チーズも食べません。So, for anyone who doesn't know about veganism, similar to vegetarianism, but we have also leather, clothing, any animal products, but veganism is basically like no animal products whatsoever, including like eggs, milk, honey, then obviously things like fish and all the kinds of meats. Yeah. Hi, 日本にいます. Do you live in Japan? I'm almost in Melbourne, about to sleep. Thanks for sharing experience. Ah, yeah, good night. Oh, yes, good night. In Australia, yeah, I'm going to go to Australia. I see, in Japan, I have never met vegan. Ah, I'm your first vegan to meet. I'm really happy you're watching this. This is like an honour for me, actually. Because there's not that many people on my channel who are actually from Japan or know that much. Assuming you speak amazing English, because obviously I'm speaking to you this, but... yeah. Oh, really? 本当にありがとうございます. Can you do an American accent? Hey, I'm from America, and I'm really cool, and I'm just talking about veganism. No, I just sound lame. I didn't know you spoke cat so well. Cowboy says certainly, but only if you would register it. Impressive. I see, in Japan I've never met vegan. Yeah, Miyahiro. I suggest like looking into it, actually, because I think it's something where like there's like a big rise of veganism at the moment in Japan, and like a lot of new restaurants appearing and a lot of new foods and things available, and essentially if you have a chance to have more like vegan options and vegan foods and meet more vegan people, I think that's like going to broaden your experience of life. And I think you're probably going to, if you speak to a lot of people abroad, from abroad, you know, from other countries, the gaikokujin, gaijin, isn't it? Gaikokujin. A lot of people who come here are now vegan, so it's like a good thing to kind of know about. But yeah, like I really appreciate your open-mindedness and you listening to me right now. I'm actually going to make a documentary about how veganism is kind of growing and how people are starting to understand about it, like in Japan, and kind of based on my experience and the kind of journey I've been on. So I'd really appreciate you actually being a part of like watching the videos I make, and because I'm making a documentary. I assume you understand all this because I can kind of. It is also I'm a filmmaker. Yeah, ドキュメンタリー映画を制作しています。Sorry, I'm doing silly voice, but I didn't know you spoke cat so well. Where did you learn to speak Japanese? So I didn't learn anywhere. It's all been home stuff. So I've messy hair, but so what happened was about a year and a half ago. Maybe it's more like a year ago, really, but sort of a year and a half ago I was interested. And then I actually, so the full story was that I listened to Japanese Pod 101, yeah, which isn't really that good, but it's good for, I'm sorry, my English, your English is amazing. Honestly, like, what you've written has been completely amazing. So I'm sorry when my English is rude. Yeah, no, but you don't worry. We understand, because for me, I understand because I often speak to people in Japan and I accidentally say like the informal stuff rather than like polite stuff. Like if I'm in a shop, I can sometimes accidentally say like what would I say? So for anyone who doesn't know anything about Japanese, there's kind of like levels of politeness where there's like this kind of there's like the humbleness, and then there's like lowering yourself, and then there's like elevating the other person kind of stuff. The word for like that is keigo. So the keigo is for kind of like polite situations, and then there's like there's kind of like there's super polite, which is kind of if anyone ever goes to like a shop where the staff speaks to you, the staff are going to speak very, very like polite, humble, where they're kind of like being really respectful to you. So you'll hear lots of like onegai itashimasu, or like that kind of thing. Like whereas there's like the nice polite, which is like arigatou gozaimasu, which is like just nice. And then there's like simple plain for like everyday conversation. You know, there's just kind of like, well, what's like, it's like, ochiya chodai, ochiya chodai yo. You know, just like arigato, like thank you. How do you plan on challenging those villages where mutant to back from their identities? That's a really good question. I understand to read English, but not good at listening English. Yeah. It's really nice you're getting involved. I can try and speak a little bit slower if it's difficult, but you're probably doing a really good job of understanding. I know what you mean though, because for me it's a lot easier to read Japanese when it's written compared to listening, I think, at the moment still. So what I like to do is watch Japanese shows with the Japanese subtitles. So if you watch, anyone who likes the anime or Japanese movies, a lot of the time you watch Japanese with English subtitles. Mark says, "Arigatou gozaimashita." Ah, mata ne. Are you going? Maybe. That means you're probably going. Arigatou gozaimasu. 見てくれてありがとうございます. I understand really. I speak that way to my older relatives. Everything is so formal. Yeah, the formality, I struggle with it because I'm not really a formal, polite person. I'm more like, I want to be casual and be in like your calm space. But I think I have a level of simple politeness, but I think the idea of lowering myself to kind of like be a part of a culture, you know, like it feels a bit wrong. But then that's just a thing I need to overcome. So this, when did you learn to speak? So I was listening to Japanese Pod 101, and then I got a bit bored of that, and then I actually found this guy on YouTube called George Trombley, Japanese from Zero. Anyone who learns Japanese, I recommend Japanese from Zero because it's quite cute. But then I kind of like, he's very lower level kind of stuff, more or less. I kind of got done with all of that content. Then I was kind of like actually learning Japanese through kind of chatting with people on an app called Hello Talk. So I made lots of Japanese friends, and then met up with some Japanese people in like London and areas like that. So I made lots of friends, and I was just kind of learning things from like online websites and videos and listening to lots and lots of podcasts. Hey, you're live. Sorry everyone. Had a phone call, but I need to I'm gonna round this off soon, but where did you learn to speak Japanese? So yeah, I was just kind of like listening to lots of things, just doing lots of input, just getting lots of stuff in, just like how children learn. Thank you. I also subscribed. Oh, thank you, please. I want you to... 心から感謝しています。本当にありがとうございます。よろしくお願いします。I speak the way, arigato. Do you ever get depressed thinking about the animals and difficulty? I've answered this question in the last podcast, and the last thing. Not really, I just like to stay positive and focus on the good stuff. I subscribe to you. Thank you. How do you plan on challenging the villagers? I don't know yet. I'm going to try my best to just understand them and listen a lot. That's the key, just listening. I'm going to round this up though, so thanks everyone. I really appreciate everything. There'll be more live streams maybe next week, some similar time. Lagging, yeah, so